Hey y'all, it's Lindsay with Wrestling Talk in the Shop. We're going to do Today in Wrestling History for December the 1st and 2nd. In 1974, Stan Stasiak defeated Pedro Morales to win the WWF Heavyweight Championship in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The finish appeared to be a double pin and no winner was announced in the arena. Instead, Stasiak was confirmed as the new champion on TV that weekend. The change was done in this unusual way to move the title from Morales without fans in the arena rioting, which was a legitimate concern.
And if you remember, Shawn Stasiak is the son of Stan Stasiak. A while back, he had a campaign where he was going to be the first father-son WWF champion, or WWE champion, but it didn't work out for him. He had a good look, but he just never could get above the mid card.
And then in 1998, WWE pushed the envelope in one of the most infamous incidents of the arena at the conclusion of an episode of Monday Night Raw. After Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mankind had defeated The Undertaker and The Rock, Taker raised Austin up on a giant version of his cross symbol, arms spread eagle for what looked for all intents and purposes like a crucifixion. And WWE, of course, refuted these connotations, but it seemed clear what the symbolism was intended to represent. And I'm sure people did not like that.
I remember they went crazy over it. I mean, it was
and then in
a little wild.
Yeah, it was pretty out there.
Well, they did some wild stuff back then. I mean, they hung Big Boss Man with a noose from the steel cage.
And then in 2012, Adam Cole defeated Kevin Steen, also known as Kevin Owens, in Reseda, California to win the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Championship in a guerrilla warfare match. And then in 2019, WWE presented Starrcade Network special from Duluth, Georgia, a low-key event of which only 3 matches were broadcast and headlined by Bobby Lashley defeating Kevin Owens by DQ. And then in 2020, on an episode of Impact Wrestling, Jazz made her debut for the company, teaming with Jordynne Grace in a successful outing against Renee Michelle and Killer Kelly. And that's going to wrap it up for the first. Let's move on to the second. On this day in 1969, Dory Funk Jr. battled to a 60-minute time limit draw with Antonio Inoki in Osaka, Japan. This was the first NWA World Heavyweight title match held in Japan since 1957. In 1974, Giant Baba won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in Kagoshima, Japan with 2 out of 3 falls match against Jack Briscoe, and he would lose it back to Briscoe exactly a week later. In 1997, Shirley Big Daddy Crabtree died of a stroke at the age of 67 in the hospital of his hometown in Halifax, West Yorkshire, UK, arguably the biggest name on the British wrestling scene during that era. His Crabtree's battles with his rival Giant Haystacks did huge business and television ratings in the 1970s and 80s. And then in 2000, WWE presented Rebellion, a UK exclusive pay-per-view from the Sheffield Arena in Sheffield, England. The event lacked notable happenings, but in the main event, Kurt Angle retained the WWE Championship in a fatal 4-way match against The Rock, Rikishi, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then in 2010, MVP requested his WWE release, a request that was granted by the company. He would not appear again for almost 10 years when he made his return at the 2020 Royal Rumble. In 2019, NASCAR driver Kyle Busch defeated R-Truth to win the 24/7 championship. I don't remember that.
I guess I don't either, but I mean, anything's possible.
They did a lot with Truth during the 24/7.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, pro wrestling legend, WWE Hall of Famer, and first Intercontinental Champion Pat Patterson passed away after a short battle with cancer at the age of 79. And then in 2020, AEW presented a huge episode of Dynamite from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. In the main event, Kenny Omega became the third AEW World Heavyweight Championship by ending Jon Moxley's 277-day reign in a 29-minute match. Earlier on the card, pro wrestling icon Sting made his AEW debut by confronting Darby Allin, Arn Anderson, and Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes. It was Sting's first appearance on TNT in almost 20 years since he wrestled Ric Flair in the final episode of WCW Monday Nitro in March 2001. And that's going to wrap it up for Today in Wrestling History, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.